Steve Kerr, the head coach of the men's Olympic team, and Steph Curry both endorsed Kamala Harris. Now, I'm not going to play the quotes for you or read them, but I do think this is indicative of why the NBA has lit its brand on fire. Somebody said in the comments, can you imagine the original Dream Team in the summer of 1992? Jordan or Larry Bird or John Stockton or Magic Johnson or any of those iconic Karl Malone basketball stars. I had the 1992 Dream Team t-shirt back when they used to put everybody in a cartoon image. I had that shirt. I was ecstatic to watch the Dream Team play in 92 after we lost in 88. Somebody in the comments said, can you imagine in the summer of 92, we had a hot political environment then too. Bill Clinton was running against the incumbent president, George Bush Sr., and Ross Perot was involved too. You had, much as we do today, a three-way political battle. Then it was Clinton, Bush, Perot. Now it is Trump, Kamala, and RFK Jr. None of the basketball players on the 92 Olympic team, I remember having, Charles Barkley was on that team too, having anything at all to say about politics. Because their goal was to just win a gold medal and kick everybody else in the world's butt on the basketball courts. Why couldn't, this is my question for you, they have tons of PR people surrounding this Olympic team. Remember, I wrote a book called Republicans Buy Sneakers Too. Why couldn't Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, and everybody else on the U.S. men's Olympic team have simply responded to the inevitable left-wing political sports media journalist questions, which they were going to get asked? This was inevitable. Do you endorse Kamala Harris? Do you endorse Donald Trump? Why not just say, hey, we're here to represent the entire United States of America for the next 2 weeks. We want to win the gold medal, and we want to make everybody, Democrats, Republicans, independents, proud of how hard we're going to work to do that here. We want to uplift the entire country. When we go back stateside, this election will be going on for months. If you really want to know my opinion, in September or October, when we get into NBA training camp, when the season begins, I'll tell you my opinion then. Heck, I might even show up at a political rally if I feel really strong about it. But right now, I don't think, particularly in the wake of an assassination, and given how freighted, how intense, how heated so many political conversations are right now, we want to use basketball to bring everybody together around the world. And so we're not really going to get involved in politics right now. I just came up with that off the top of my head, that entire answer. How much better would that answer have been from Steve Kerr and Steph Curry? We just want to unite all of America, regardless of what your background is or what your political beliefs or who you're voting for. We want you rooting for us. We want to use basketball to bring all Americans together for the next 2 weeks in the spirit of the Olympic Games. Why can't you just say that? Why did Steve Kerr and Steph Curry have to go super left wing and super woke and use the very first opportunity they have to talk to the media to make a political statement? Because the result, I'll tell you what it's going to be. A lot of you out there are going to say, yeah, that's why I don't care about the NBA. That's why I don't even care that much about how the U.S. men's basketball team does. Because much like the U.S. women's soccer team, they took something that was incredibly unifying and they decided to slice and dice it all up by getting political and alienating half the country. 2019, I watched the U.S. women's soccer team win the World Cup. They were among the most beloved teams in all of the country. By last year, when Megan Rapinoe shanked a penalty kick, wide right, ironically enough, the U.S. women's team had become incredibly divisive because in 2019, they won the World Cup and they refused to go visit the White House with President Trump there. By 2023, they were seen as just another group of politicians. 1992, you could not find anyone that didn't want the United States to destroy every other country. Every sports fan, white, black, Asian, Hispanic in America in 1992 was rooting for the U.S. men's team to dominate. Now, there are going to be a lot of people out there that don't really care. I put up a poll. Some of you are going to root against the U.S. men's team. I can't bring myself personally to do that, but I'm in the don't care very much category. 92, I wanted America to win. I wanted us to win every game by 50 points. Now, I don't really care. It doesn't really matter to me that much how the U.S. men's basketball team does in this Olympics. Some of you are actively rooting for other countries to win. Some of you are still rooting for the United States. I would say that's entirely a function of Michael Jordan being right. Republicans buy sneakers too. Many of these athletes have managed to alienate huge swaths of the United States public that would otherwise root for them. So that's my take on Steph Curry and Steve Kerr deciding that they have to endorse Kamala Harris. They have the right to endorse whoever they want. I just think it would have been way smarter. Wait till you come back to the United States. Wait till you aren't wearing the United States team jersey. Wait till you are not at a U.S. Olympics press conference to decide that you need to weigh in on who to support politically. One of you in the comments asked a good question. You said, hey, would you feel the same way if a athlete endorsed Donald Trump at the Olympics? Yes, I would. I would feel the exact same way. And that's because I don't think when you are representing the United States of America at the Olympics, I don't think you should endorse a political figure. I'm voting for Donald Trump. You guys know that. I imagine a lot of you watching this right now are voting for Trump. Some of you may be voting for RFK or Jill Stein or Kamala Harris or Cornel West or whoever the other candidates might be. That is your right. It's your right to endorse them, to advocate for them as you see fit. I'm a marketplace of ideas guy. More power to you for doing so. But I don't think you ought to endorse any of those people at the United States Olympics either. That's because you represent the whole country. Why alienate anyone? And I mentioned this yesterday, but I was just talking about it on Clay and Buck, and I think it's an important message. 1992 was an election year. The U.S. Dream Team is one of the most beloved American teams of my life as a sports fan. If you are around my age or older, probably younger too, you remember 1992 when Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all of the best players came together after we lost the Olympic gold medal in 1988. If I remember correctly, in 88, there was some questionable officiating. We said no longer, everybody else is playing their professionals. We're not just going to play amateurs anymore. We're going to put our best possible players out there. And we dominated and destroyed everyone. The summer of 1992 was also an election year. Bill Clinton, Ross Perot, and George H.W. Bush Sr. were running. A trio of contenders, much like Trump, Kamala, and RFK Jr. right now. I don't remember a single American athlete in 1992 speaking out in favor of any politician. I think if that would have happened in 1992, overwhelmingly the American public would have disapproved of that. I am standing on principle here. When you represent the United States, you represent everyone, Republican, Democrat, Independent. Everyone should be rooting for the American teams to win. Why alienate anyone by putting yourself aligned with any particular side? As I said yesterday, I'm sure the left-wing sports media is going to ask a lot of athletes their position on the election. And maybe some of the PR people, maybe some of the athletes' representatives will watch this clip as it reverberates around the information social highways all over the social media sites. Just say, this is my advice for you, I may or may not endorse someone in the 2024 election, but right now my focus is on doing everything I can to win a gold medal for all Americans. I'm not going to make any political statements right now. It's a perfect answer. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, try to bring everybody into the big tent of American exceptionalism. USA, USA, USA. Steph Curry and Steve Kerr did the exact opposite of what the Dream Team would have done in '92. They did the exact same, unfortunately, as what the U.S. women's soccer team did. They are alienating sports fans such that some of you right now don't care whether the U.S. men win now. Some of you are actively rooting against them. Maybe a few people are rooting for them more. But in general, I think you probably alienate 75% of American sports fans by endorsing any political candidate at all. Even people who are big Kamala or Trump people, by and large, don't think this is a good move. That's the camp that I would put myself in. And I hope other teams will learn from this stupidity, in my opinion, from this divisiveness from Steve Kerr and Steph Curry. Like, it doesn't surprise me that they're voting for Kamala. Why not just announce it in September or October when you're back in the United States and you are standing on your own behalf as opposed to representing the entire United States of America, literally in United States of America attire? My thoughts.